This conference will now be recorded.
So today it's a first class, so I want to discuss about how many ways we can access Appian and what is the architecture of Appian. Okay, so before going to the access level, like we'll see architecture of Appian. So this is the architectural diagram of Appian. Okay, so see guys, so in the top level, so there is a three layers here. So note it down. First one is interfaces, second one is the services, third one is the data. Note it down. Interfaces, services, and data. These are the main three layers. Like you run on these three. Okay, so the IPN will be completely depends on these three services, like interfaces, services, and data. So in the top layer, interfaces. Okay, the first one is interfaces. Nothing but the name itself it is saying the user can access from which portals. So those are nothing but interfaces. For example, I'm a developer. I can access from the designer. So how many are there? So there is a tempo. So if you know like Java, JavaScript, like instead of Appian, you want to use another website, you want to integrate with Appian, they can use embedded interfaces. Means other coding they can embed it into the Appian. And generally, as per Appian developers or as per Appian users, generally they can go over the tempo and sites. Remember, so generally from which interface we can access a tempo and size. These are the end user interfaces. Note it down. End user interfaces, tempo and sites. Okay, tempo and sites are the end user interfaces. From there we can access our APN regularly to access our data, to request our data or anything whatever you want to do within the APN for your business. Clear? Second one is embedded. So instead of a regular one, you want to go with an extra add-on like using another JavaScript and another HTML tags and all. So go with it. More than enough this tempo and sites. Don't go over embedded. It's a really great combination, I can say. And third one is designers. Okay, we'll talk about what is tempo, what is designer, what is administration portal and all. So we have a separate section for it. But for now, just remember the architecture. So third one is the designer. Okay, designers are nothing but like where the developers can develop applications. This is also one of the interface. So completely the interface is nothing but how the end user can access. Means end user nothing but here either it should be developer, either it should be admin, or else a basic user. Clear? So this is also one of the interface who can access, developer can access here to develop applications. And final one is the admin console. Okay, so admin console is nothing but so the person who uh, maintain complete administration, like they want to create users, they want to make a connection to the database. Okay, they want to do any other operations like creating connections, creating user, okay, and deploying and checking the rule performances, okay, and monitoring everything they want to like color settings, logo settings, language settings, whatever they want, like in the application level who can maintain in the backend. So they have a separate portal called admin portal. So I can say it's a administration console. So this is also come under one of the interfaces in our Appian architecture. Okay, remember Appian architecture is divided in three ways, like three parts. One is interfaces, one is the services, one is the data. Okay, interfaces should be completely end users or developers or admins who can access from the different portals. So those persons can have a different one. So those are all come under interfaces. Clear? And second one is the services. Means, for example, as an end user, I'm using this tempo or sites. So I have to connect to the Appian, right? But to connect to the Appian to save the data in Appian database, I need a mediator. Means I need some services. Without services, I cannot send the data to the database. I cannot get the data back to the site, right, guys? So forward, they are using the services. Under the services, we have so many here. So if they are using any APIs like REST and SOAP services, they can use the web APIs. Okay, but so then they have internal within the web API. Under that, we have so many other services. Do you want to integrate it? Okay, you have different services like Salesforce. You want whatever you want to integrate, so you can use other services within the service. And here the main thing you can say, like, here one server is there, that is a web server, one is a app server. So few clients they can use a web server, means while logging to the Appian, if they want to maintain a separate pages, login pages, separate login pages, so they want to change the complete flavor of your login page and everything, they can use a web server on top of app server. It's not at all required for developers, but have an idea about the architecture. Okay, so but before this web server, okay, we need to talk about app server. This is very important. Appian will run on app server. So the app server name is generally it is a JBoss. Okay, so Appian will run on the JBoss. It is an older version. Right now it is a Tomcat. It is migrated to the Tomcat. Tomcat server. Previously, JBoss is a app server. App server nothing but the completely underlying server. So where we can run on our APN. Means APN will run on this particular server that is a JBoss previously. Right now it is a Tomcat. From 2019 onwards, they have migrated to Tomcat. Okay. So right now the Tomcat. It is a old one. So they have not yet updated this one app server. Most of the cases we are going with a Tomcat nowadays. Clear. And so within after that, internally they have different servers, like, okay, internally they have a different services. Apart from this, these are the common one, like these are all web APIs, SAP, and everything will come under the integration side, like the web APIs. And the app server is main where a complete Appian will run. Okay, Appian is a software, so once you install the software you need a server, that is nothing but an app server here. Okay, so here, so one more you can see like plugins. Means internally whatever you are using, like Appian functions or Appian connectors or whatever you can use within Appian, so they have designed within the plugins. Means nothing but they have designed in a Java format, that is a .jar files they have imported in the plugins. Or else if some features are not available in Appian, just assume some features are not available in Appian. If you know Java code, just you can design your own code to build any function or component within Appian. After that, you can place, once you create a code in a Java, you can create as a jar file and deploy into the plugins folder. Means that would be useful as a function or a component in your Appian. Means Appian provide extended functionality. If you want to design your own code, yes, you can design. So to create a function or component, that is come under the plugins. Clear. So coming to the third one, so these are the services gates, means where the Appian application will run. So that is the only app server here is important. Rest of this just integrations where you can connect to the web APIs and get the data and all. And the third one is a data. So data is very important here. So generally we can use the databases, right? So they can support MySQL, Oracle, okay, DB2, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL Server. So these are the databases they can support generally. So Appian will, once you hit the URL or once you hit the site or once you request it, anything, once you are doing any operations on Appian, it will come to the service app server. From there, it will be navigated to this a particular database. If you are sending the data, you are getting the data or anything, whatever you want from the database. The operation will start from a services. So from services to the data, data to the services, again from here to users. Okay, and one more thing, so internally apart from all these like interfaces, services, and internally Appian will use some engines. So those engines we can call as an Appian engine. Means whatever you are doing in Appian, if you run anything, if you execute anything, internally some engines are there in Appian. So it will take those engines will take care of everything to execute or to analyze, do operations in the backend side. Okay, so those engines are also connected to the app servers as well as a database internally. So the connection will be made by the administration while installing the software. Okay, And in the database side, in the data side only, they have given a file system where you're uploading a file. For example, you're onboarding an employee, you can collect his personal details as well as his resume and everything, right? So those are all come under the documents. So there you need a file system to restore it. So that's what we are using, a file system here. And when you are just doing any search operations, okay, like search operations or any, or searching for any data or anything, so internally the search server is required. So that's what Appian will use, a search server. The search server, Appian engines and file system, everything will be come with the Appian. And you have to extra, means you have to use extra software here, the app servers and a database. The rest of the things will coming with the Appian only, Appian package. Clear? So while installing, they can make a connection with the files and all. So once it is done, they can use Appian from any browser. Okay. So this is an architecture of Appian. Generally, we can use. So they have provided this architecture, just a high level architecture we have discussed here. So coming to this, so Appian, just remember here, out of this architecture, Appian will use some engines and server and file system. And the Appian will be running on app server, that is JBoss previously, right now it's a Tomcat. Okay. And front layer should be like any interfaces, like admin, developer, or anyone can use it. Clear? So that is about the architecture. And coming to the next one, so how many ways we can access Appian? Okay. So generally I can say we can access Appian, we have access Appian either with the cloud or else on premise. Okay. So note it down. We can use Appian in two ways, either with the cloud or else or with on premise. Cloud means like cloud software you can access from anywhere if you have very good internet connectivity. And on premise means a local, means you can purchase a software, you can install your software in your computer or in your server or whatever, wherever you want, you can use it. Clear, guys? So note it down, a cloud and on premise. So first it is a cloud. So how the companies will get access from the cloud? From Appian. First, assume as a customer nothing but here you can take any HDFC bank. So assume I'm from HDFC bank, so I want to create few operations, means like my business operations are there, I want to build an application for it. So to maintain a business to business operations or business to business application, any BPM tool is better. So that's what I choose, Appian. So how I can approach to Appian to use the particular software for my business to business application. Generally, first I have to request to Appian. Okay. So once you request to Appian, so they can arrange a meeting or something else, whatever they want. So you have to fill your company details and everything. Okay. Have a meeting with them. So once it is completed, so you can get official partnership. Okay. You can get a vendorship or partnership, or client. They'll become a client to Appian. Okay. So once it is done, so they will code the project, means completely whatever expecting yours from your end, how many user accounts you want. Okay. How many user accounts you want. So they will think about those things. Okay. So for example, I need 100 user accounts because initially for my HDFC application, so there is 100 users who can access my application internally for business operations. Okay. 100 users. So based on the headcount or based on the user accounts, they can uh, they can give you some price quote and everything. So then you can purchase the software. Then you can purchase the software. Once you get the software, what Appian will provide? They will provide a URL. Okay, cloud URL. Okay, example, it should be like hdfc dot appian.com. Okay, maybe they can provide like that, or else fgsc APN dev, something else, whatever they want to. As per your wish, they can generate one URL, that is a cloud URL, they can provide. And with the cloud URL, they can give you a system account. You can say like a system or admin account. Okay, so they can provide system or admin account like username and password. I can give you a username and password for your URL, that is a system account or a admin account. Using that, you can create a number of users. Using that, you can create a number of users. For example, here I said like I need 100 users for my applications. So in 100, you can create like 90 are developers. Okay, remaining 10 are admins. Yes, not devs, like 10 are developers, and remaining 80 are end users. End users nothing but who can access the application from outside without a developing knowledge. Clear? Out of 100, so I can create 80 users for end users, like 10 for developers, 10 for admins. So who are the responsible for here? Like 10 developers and 10 admins are responsible for creating an application with an Appian. So once it is done, so remaining 80 users can access our application to implement our business operations. Okay, clear. So but here who can create these accounts? Means we will get a URL, right? Using this URL, we have to log in with your system account, which is provided by the Appian when you purchase it. Remember, when you purchase the software, they can give you a system account. Remember, guys, so many people get confused here. So they will provide a system account, that is a main account, a super account you can call. Okay, using that account, you can create a number of users as per the limit they provided, as per your price or as per your cost, as per your requirement. So they can give you a limit. Based on that, you can create number of user accounts. Clear? So once you clear the account, who will create an account again? Admins can create account. Okay, yeah, a system account create an admin. So once you create this 10 admins, this 10 admins can create a number of users again. So using a system account, it is only one time requirement. Using that system account, initially you have to create only one admin. So that admin can create a multiple admins or multiple developers, multiple end users. Okay, so this is a way to access to request about the cloud account. So once it is done, you can access this application using this URL from anywhere. If you have very good internet connectivity, you can. Apart from this URL, username and all, so they can provide you a database, cloud database, and the software and everything will be maintained by the Appian itself. So no need to worry from the HDFC Bank. Why? Because they are completely they are buying the product from Appian. Okay, so Apple should take care of everything like database, operations, performance, everything should be maintained by Appian. Just you need to pay some amount and get the software and services. So here infrastructure and services and software and database, everything you will get from Appian. Okay, it's very easy to maintain if you go with the cloud. No need to worry from your end, and more secure. So they don't share your data to anyone. And why? Because it's more a secure data they can maintain. So only who are related to your application, so those people can access this complete application related data in Appian. Clear? This is about the cloud, guys. Okay, the installation, everything should be done by Appian. No need to worry from your end, just need to purchase it. Okay, so many clients nowadays, so many clients like so many banking clients, so many other clients also like health sector and other clients also, they're going with the cloud nowadays. Why? Because the maintenance is very easy compared to on-premise. Okay, so coming to the on-premise, it is a completely local software. Nothing but you have to install your Appian within your servers. So now I'm going with ICICI. Just for example, I'm going with ICICI. But ICICI, they're saying like we don't want to share our data to Appian. So we want to maintain our data within our servers. Why? Because so much of data is there, that is more secure data. So it's not at all required to share with Appian. Why? Because when you go with an Appian, Appian can see your data. Appian can see your HDFC data. Why? Because the control should be on Appian side. Okay. So why? Because you want to request anything, you want to update anything, every time you have to ask to Appian. Without Appian, you cannot do anything here. But coming to the on-premise, so on-premise, just you need to download a software. Okay. So coming to the app here, just you need to download Appian software from Appian community. There is an Appian community. One website is there where we can see the documentation, everything. So that is a like repository for the documentation, you can say. Like here, we can download the Appian software. And so if you download an Appian software, okay. So I'll tell you if you have any questions after the session, okay. So just don't text me here. So if you have a once you download the Appian software, you can get a JBoss previously. Right now, it's a Tomcat. You have to purchase a Tomcat or JBoss also. Why? Because where you install the Appian. So if you download Appian, it's not at all easy like to click next, 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 completed, then you can use the software. It's not like that. It's not at all easy to install the software. Remember that. So when you download it, it's not possible to install in your laptop. Okay. So you have to install a JBoss or Tomcat. And after that, you have to get any database as a MySQL, Oracle, or anything. Okay. So you have to get the database. So when you are installing the software, so you have to make some connection to the database, which admin cache, and as well as you have to make some connection to the app server. So who will do this operation means administration, who have prior knowledge on Linux, as well as they should have a knowledge on the server side handling, like some commands and everything. So then only they can handle the complete installation of the software. It's not about the developer. It's a complete separate role. So who are interested to join in a admin side, like who have knowledge on Linux and all, so they can go with Appian admin if they are interested. So which is the best way? Like you need to have the database knowledge installation and Tomcat and Appian, how to install the Appian. So once you install an Appian here, okay. So once you install an Appian here, so while installing and everything is completed, like installation is done, I have purchased the JBoss, database, and everything. Is my Appian will run on my machine or not? No, guys. We need to purchase means here we need to purchase license files. Okay, we need to purchase some license files from Appian. So for example, ICICI not a partner or not a vendor of Appian. So then ICICI will get directly to request. No, guys. So before getting these license files, you need to have a partnership or a vendorship with Appian. So you need to ask them. So they will schedule a meeting again. So you can discuss about your business and everything, your requirements and everything. So once it is finalized, so you can get the software. Then they can suggest like go with the cloud, but you can tell them like I'm not interested to go with the cloud. We are interested in on-premise. Why? Because we want to maintain our data in our website, our server instead of our cloud. So in such cases, so just they will give you the license files based on your server configuration. Whatever you install here, so always you can install the Appian or Tomcat or database in your in your servers. Means ICICI have their own servers in their company or in their organization. So on top of it, you can run, you can execute or you can install this one. So once it is completed, based on your server configuration, they will provide a license file. So the license files are a K3 and K4. We can call those. So the names of the license files, K3 and K4. So once they provide the K3 and K4 licenses, you have to put those two licenses in Appian folder. Once you install these three, so Generally, when you install any software, you will get one folder in your C drive, right? Like C drive, program files, and there. Similarly, once you install the Appian software, you will get one Appian folder. Once installation is completed, you can see Appian folder in your server. So there, one folder called like license folder is there. So in the license folder, you have to put this license files, T3 and cap. They have given some separate location to put these license files. So you can put these, or you can copy these license files in that location. So once it is completed, then you can start the Appian. You can start Appian. So then you can access the software. But you maybe you'll get a doubt here. Who will create this all the things with admin? When how we will get a URL? Like in on-premise, we got the system account and URL, right? Here also, you will get a system account and URL. You will get a system account and URL. But it's not a cloud, it's a local URL. hdfc.com. You can get a similar URL. Okay, but while installing the software, so there is some files are there, like creating an account and all. So using that, you can create the system account, and there you have to provide a proper URL. You can change this URL anytime because you are installing this software. In the cloud, you have to request to Appian to change anything. Here, you can change anytime in your local servers. Okay, so once it is completed, again you will get this URL and username and password. Again, here also you can create 100 users. 100 users. So in the 100 you can create like 10 for developers, 10 for admins, ideas, and users. The complete control will be in your organization. Should not ask to Appian. Okay. For example, there is any issue. There is an issue. I lost some data and everything. Your admin people can take care of that. If there any issue with Appian, again you can ask to Appian, boss, already we have purchased the license files, but we are not getting some data here, then they can support us. Why they can support us means we are purchasing the license file to maintain our complete data, but indirectly Appian will support for us in a on-premise. If it is a cloud, everything should be taken care by Appian. If it is an on-premise, we have to take care of everything, but Appian will support in some cases where we want their help. Like we lost the data, if Appian side something is not working, which is completely like possible scenarios are there, but then we have some like errors and all. Okay, we cannot rectify those, which is from where and all. So in such cases, go with Appian. So then Appian come into the picture, they can help you. Why? Because you are purchasing the software here from Appian. Clear? So using the system account, again you can create a multiple accounts. A multiple accounts can be created with a clear. So once it is done, so where you can use this URL? Generally, the URL will be, it's a completely browser-based software. Okay, a browser-based tool, I can say. It is a completely browser-based. Either you can use from IE or you will choose from Chrome or like Firefox or anything, wherever, whatever the browser you have. But generally, I can suggest like IE or else Chrome is better. Okay, it's completely a browser-based tool. Just you need to hit this URL in our example. Hit this URL and you can use your username and password. If you are an end user, the portal might be a different. If you are an end user, the portal should be like this, the tempo and all. If you are a developer, it should be this one. If you are an admin, it should be this one. But end users, admins, and like developers cannot see the internal data and all internal operations. They don't know. Just they can create, they can access it. But how it is performing and all, they don't know. Why? Because completely it will be hidden in the Appian structure. Clear, guys? And here, before going to this browser-based tool and all, I'll introduce in coming classes. But how many of users are there? Means how many type of users? So this is about Appian, type of users and Appian. So I said developers, admins, and all, right? So how many ways we can access? Remember, one is cloud, one is on-premise. So how we get, how we access, how we install, we have seen that. So type of users, two types, guys. One is a basic, one is admin. Two type of user is there, basic users as well as admin user. Okay. So when you see in Appian, there is only a two type of users. One is basic, one is admin. There is no concept like developer and all. Okay. Only two type of users are there. So here the basic user can access, it can behave like as end user. End user nothing but you don't know anything about Appian, just you can use the software. Like Facebook users, LinkedIn users, a different user. Like we are using Swiggy and all. But as an end user, we don't know, right? Just we can access the particular order and then the thing. Like Flipkart users are in. Similarly, here also end users are nothing but a basic user here. Clear? But admin user nothing but he can take care of everything in a Appian. Like he can create the complete backend colors, and he can responsible for the creating connection to the database. Okay, he can create a users. So all admin operations. Okay, all admin operations in a Appian side, not in the application level, in the Appian side. Okay, then who are the developers? Means here admin also is one of the developer, because admin can access everything. It can behave like a basic user, it can behave like admin, it can behave like a developer also. Okay, so before introducing who can access this all, there is a four portals are there. One is a tempo. Okay, one is a design, one is designer, and one is an admin. So I'll talk about these four portals in the next class, but still see. So there's a four portals: tempo, design, designer, and admin. Four portals are there. You can say consoles or portals. Okay, you can say these are the consoles or portals. Clear, guys? Consoles or portals. So tempo, design, designer, and admin. So I said a tempo is nothing but end user portal. Who can access? End users. Okay, here admin can access admin portal. Remember, only two type of users, guys. But here basic user is nothing but end user. So I can say instead of end user, you can say like basic user. And here admin can access everything. He can access this one, he can access this one, he can access this one, and access. Admin can access all. Remember this one, it's very, very important. Basic user access can only at this one. Then, so where is the developer? So here admin can act as a developer, but still we have separate a role for developers. So to means we have to give a actions, like we have to give some permissions, okay, to access the design and design. These are the two portals important. Okay, design and designer, these are the two portals for developers where they can create applications, where they can debug their applications. They can create an application, they can debug, and they can test their application it is working or not. So from where they can do? From design and designer portals. Okay, but what is the role of them? So see guys, before giving that introduction, so I need to introduce the two default groups. Appian has two default groups. So note it down: designers as well as process model creators. We have two default groups in Appian. One is designers, one is a process model creators. Clear? So whenever I add, for example, I just took a wiki account or a Kumar account is there. I have created Kumar or Wiki's name as an admin. Just I have created one username, that is a wiki. So once I created it, so VK has joined as a developer, Kumar has joined as a end user. So I can create two accounts. One is a basic, another one is also basic, because I don't want to give admin access. They are not at all admins. Okay. So for Kumar, I have given a basic access. That should be fine. Okay. Kumar, I have given a basic access, basic user. Here also Vicky also a basic user. A type is a basic, but he joined as a developer. He joined as a developer. In such cases, just I need to add his account. Remember, I need to add his account into these two groups. Add Vicky basic account, okay, into these two groups. Okay, into these two groups. Remember, guys, I can add Wiki account in below groups. One is designers, one is a process model creators. Why? Because he joined as a developer. Whenever I add him into these two groups, he can access these two portals. Okay, so whenever I add him to these two groups, so he can become designer, nothing but a developer. Remember, so there is no concept like designer, means there is no direct way to create developer account or designer account. Only we have two groups, two user accounts. One is basic, one is admin. But whenever we create a basic account, we can add the basic account into these two groups. Then only he can able to access these two portals. Here Kumar can access only this one. Kumar can access this one, but myself, means like Rishi, can access all these four. Why? Because I'm an admin. Why? Because I'm an admin. Clear? But VK has joined as a developer, but he can access only, initially he can access only this one. But whenever I add his account into these two groups, he can access this one also. Why? Because I want to give a order. So Vicky is the developer. That's what we can give a first. Got it? So here I am the admin. I can access all the portals. Why? Because I'm a super user. I'm an admin. So Vicky is a developer. He can access only these three. Why? Because he can create an application. He can test an application as an end user. But Kumar has joined as a basic user. Just he want to access end user portals. Why? Because he don't know about Appian. Just he is joined as a customer support team. Okay, he's joined in a customer support team as an end user in a same ICICI or HDFC Bank. But in the same HDFC or ICICI Bank, I have joined as a Appian admin, and Vicky joined as a Appian developer. He can create application. I can support him in the backend and all, and Kumar can request, and he can call to the customers, and he can create a request. So this is the things we can do in Appian with the users. Clear? So here you have any questions or any doubts, let me know. So before that, I'll stop my recording.